Hey my dear friends, once again welcome back to the channel. I am Gaurav here and that's the 17th video of this series. So in today's video we will start working on health and damage system for our player. But I'm sure most of you guys are already took that challenge which I was give you in the last video. But if not, then let's start working on player's health and damage system. So let's get started. But before we begin, as I always say, if you are new in this channel then please check out our previous videos first. Also subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit that bell icon. It's absolutely free. So now in the last video we worked on the enemy's health and damage system. Now I think you must have some idea about how we're gonna create a health and damage system for our player. So let's go down in the scripts folder and double click on the enemy's AI script to open it in the Visual Studio or Visual Codes, whatever you prefer to use. And now it's our simple enemy AI logic, but if in case you forgot about it, then I'll put its link on the card or in the description box. Now, first we need some variables for the projectile prefab, and then we also need some transform type variable to spawn these projectiles as we did with our player, right? And also we have to check if the distance between target is less than or equal to NavMeshAgent.stopping distance. But wait, before you say that what NavMeshAgent.stopping distance is, let me tell you about it. And to know that, let's head back to the Unity, and here on the enemy we have NavMeshAgent component attached on, and within that you see we have something called stopping distance. It means that how far our enemy will stop from the player. And in this series I've already explained about NavMeshAgent, so in case if you have forgot about it or if you are new in this channel, then I'll put the link on the card or in the description box. So go ahead and check it out, it will definitely help you. For now, let's hop back to the script, and here let's create an if statement. Then in it we'll give a condition if the distance between target less than equal to NavMeshAgent.stopping distance, and then within that we'll create a for each loop to get spawn points. But first let's create an array for spawn points. Serialize field private, and it's gonna be transform type variable and name it projectile spawn point. And also we need a variable for a projectile prefab. And now here we will create for each loop. So for each spawn points in what? In that array which is projectile spawn point. As you see that we just created a local transform type variable so that we can access spawn points which will be in that array list. And now here we will instantiate our projectile prefab. Hope you have remembered that how to instantiate a game object, but if not, then again don't worry, I'm gonna tell you right now. Let's instantiate our projectiles. Instantiate projectile prefab, and then here we will take a spawn point dot position, this one, and then the orientation which is transform dot rotation. Now let's head back to the Unity and let's see what we got there. But before we press play button, first we have to create projectile for our enemy. So let's create a 3D game object sphere and add a rigid body on it, and then make a prefab by simply dragging it here in the prefabs folder, and then delete that sphere from the hierarchy tab. Now just drag that sphere prefab within that enemy's projectile slot. And also don't forget to give spawn point to the enemy which I already created within the enemy's hands. And now we can hit play button. Let's go to see our enemy, and I'm sure it's gonna be really interesting to see. Now, whoa, I knew that our enemy would shoot a lot of projectiles that look like a snowball blast, isn't it? So do you know why we got such an action from our enemy? I'm sure some of you guys already know that what's happening here, but I'm gonna explain for those guys who are new in the game dev world and also new in the channel. Okay, let me tell you what's happening here. Well, if you've been following this series since the beginning, then you'll remember that we did something similar for our player, but we didn't see any such a problem at that time. Well, we haven't got that kind of behavior from our player. It's because we are shooting projectile manually, like click 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 and shoot the projectile. So simple, right? But since our enemy isn't a human, of course it's not a human, we can see that it's a computer. That means it can rapidly shoot blast of projectiles within a second. So to fix that problem, we have to control the shooting frequency for the enemy, like some kind of time interval or a delay in between two projectiles. So let's do that. But how? Okay, here we need to create a variable to measure the time in between two fires. let's create a variable. So it's gonna be private float type variable and name it countdown between fire, and I'll default that to 0. Also, we need one more variable to regulate fire rate. So here serialize field private float fire rate, and I'll give it something like 2f. Now let's go down in the update function, and here within the if statement where we are instantiating projectiles. So before the for each loop, here we will create a condition to check that if countdown between fire less than or equal to 0, then we will start instantiating projectiles. Move that for each loop within the if statement, and after for each loop, here we have to set countdown between fire to 1 and divide it by fire rate. So basically we are firing 2 projectiles within a second. It means the countdown will start from 0.5 seconds. This means if the fire rate is bigger, then it'll take less time in between shoots. Hope you got some idea about it, but if not, then feel free to ask questions in the comments box. So here, after instantiating 2 projectiles within a second, and then now here we have to decrease countdown between fire by time.delta time. So countdown between fire minus equal time.delta time. It means every second countdown between fire will be reduced by 1. Now save it and hop back to the Unity and test it. Let's approach to the enemy, and here you see now our enemy can shoot projectile. Did he? Well, it looks like a laying eggs. But yeah, at least the projectiles are spawning in between fixed time gap, right? But don't worry, we will fix that issue in the next video. Yeah, we will do that in next video, because for now this video is gonna be too long, and also I'm getting out of time. So that's all in this video, and in the next video we will fix that issue, and also we will create a health and damage system for our player. So till then, keep learning, keep practicing, and I'll meet you in the further upcoming videos. For now, see ya later.